first off, before we get into today's video or today's podcast, just want to give a little bit of a thank you, or a huge thank you to everybody that's been supporting this podcast up until this point. Our first episode and our introductory video this week hit 100 views each, which may not seem like a lot right now, but for us, for this podcast to just be starting, that's huge for us. So again, to everybody that's been supporting this podcast, thank you so much. I can name a whole bunch of people that have been behind us since the start, and I cannot share our grace.
Shout out my dad, though. My dad's a G.
Yeah.
Literally, for those of you that don't know, my dad watches every single episode on release. Notification squad. Like, it is crazy to have that sort of support from your family. So thank you as well, Dad. And everyone else, of course. We love you guys.
Of course. Oh my goodness. Right, so for today's podcast, we have a little bit of a more, how would I word it, interesting one.
I'm really excited for this one, because there's so much to talk about.
We've been, I'm not building up to this one. I think we'll talk about the next one ahead of time, but, we've been building towards episodes like this for a while now. I think we're talking about conspiracy theories. Let me just be upfront and direct with you.
Yeah.
We both have listed down some conspiracy theories we want to talk about in general. The broad aspect, what makes a conspiracy theory. There's a lot that goes into this, honestly. And again, to go back to it, I'm curious as to what makes a conspiracy theory official. Because, I mean, we can conspirate. I think that's the right word.
Conspire.
Conspire, excuse me.
I think
English isn't my first language. What was it? We can conspire and say it's a conspiracy theory, but I'm so interested to what makes that like get onto these big lists. What makes it have literal organizations behind it type of beat? You know what I mean?
It's funny. Anything can really get an organization behind it nowadays. You can have the most out there idea, and if you show any sort of proof, whether it's sustainable proof that you can use and believe, people will follow it. We have a list of some very popular ones. We haven't really got any obscure ones.
Listen, it would be foul for us to go into this video and not mention it. The flat earth theory or the moon landing was fake theory.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two that I've heard since I was literally 6 or 7 years old. It's all right. Growing up, the moon landing theory, I didn't play into it, but like sitting here listening to these adults talk about it, it's like, that makes a lot of sense. But like going back on it now, it's like, bro, you had to be like a boomer.
Well, yeah, boomer. I mean, it all sort of came around because people thought that the photos of the moon landing were CGI and made by a production studio that would make films and stuff.
Right.
So I can understand, like, you know, obviously, if at the time technology and editing abilities and all of that was good enough to produce a scene like that, then sure, I would believe you. But back then, we were still like a little bit behind with technology. We don't have this sort of CGI and the abilities that we do now. Like, blah, 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 blah.
You good?
Yeah,
I mean, computers were around, but not home computers, I believe, at the time of the moon landing. I mean, they had to have been.
Which I think it was the 1966 moon landing, like the OG moon landing.
Like
the 1969 moon landing with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
Right.
So, yeah, one man called Bill Casing spread around that it was a hoax, or the idea that it was a hoax.
Like one person started this theory. Think about that for a second. One person.
And now it's spread to where probably millions of people believe this.
People believe it to this day.
100%. It first stated off of a hunch and an intuition. He just felt like the moon landing.
Felt there was no proof?
No. But they felt that the US lacked the technical prowess to make a rocket that would transport people to the moon and back safely.
I will say, at first, growing up, when they told me that we went from flying the first plane to landing on the moon in like 30-some years, I'm like, that seems impossible. But as I got older and I realized how long 30 years is and what can develop in 30 years, it's like, come on now.
I know. I think, I'm just trying to look. So, even though people brought back moon rock, I think 382 kilograms of moon rock was collected over 6 different missions of going back and forth. And this is from multiple countries. So, Russia, Japan, China, the US, I believe, all brought back moon rock. But, you know, people out there seem to think that it's just rock. Fake rock, not moon rock, just rock.
I would be interested to learn what type of material, like, is it a different type of material? Is it like some kind of, is it like some type of elements we have on Earth? Like, we've talked about there could be elements out there we don't even know of in last week's episode, but I would be interested to know if it's like something similar that we have here in our known galaxy or Earth.
Okay, so I googled what moon rocks are made out of, and it's given me marijuana stuff.
Oh God! What, THC?
Do you know what a moon rock is? Not an actual like moon rock from the moon, but moon rock is in...
never mind. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Which is not what I asked for. Real moon rock. Here we go. Lunar material made up of silicone, calcium, aluminium, oxygen, magnesium, and iron. So
interesting.
I mean, all elements that we have on our planet. I mean, it would make sense because it's theorized from the Big Bang that that's how we got our moon. It's part of us, I think, or it's a break off from the Earth, or just something that circulates. But
imagine how the Earth would look like a what do you call it?
I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong on this, so don't quote me.
Right. But I imagine the Earth with the freaking moon just like stuck to it, and just imagine like the meeting point. Like, it was like you walk.
We wouldn't have tides anymore or waves,
literally,
or anything like that, because
I don't even think that would be.
That, so
I don't even think life would be possible. Would it?
It would mess up gravity big time. If we didn't have the moon, I don't know how it would be affected if, like, the moon was attached to us. I think in that instance, it would have always been attached to us, so it wouldn't have been an issue. And we would have just had Earth with no tides.
Right. Ah, God.
Never be able to ride the waves.
Something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. I forgot who said it. It's like we're all pulling on each other. I think I've mentioned this before, but no matter where we are in the world, we're all pulling on each other. We're pulling and pushing on each other at all times, just like the moon is. And it's like that's something I'll always think about. It's like you could be across the world. You could be in, like, literally from point blank across the world, and we're still back and forth on each other. You know what I mean? It's a weird fact to think about.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the TikToks that's like making an Earth sandwich? So you just get one person from one country puts a bit of bread on the floor, and then from the other side the planet, they put a piece of bread on the floor.
Oh, that's so
Earth
cool.
Sandwich.
Earth sandwich.
Yeah.
Good Lord, it'd take a god to eat all that.
Someone would have to be very hungry to take a bite of that. Sorry, I had to take my retainer out.
Thank God.
I didn't want to start like again. So
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I still can't believe I can't believe they gave me the wrong kind of moon rock when I first googled it. Google really is catered to my searches now, huh? Like it's really going for target audience.
Drugs. See, over here, I'm not sure if it's the same, but I mean, I know what moon rock is in the difference, but it's gonna be a little bit different. They call 8-ball. They call there's such a thing as an 8-ball of cocaine. I'm not too sure of the specifics. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you're gonna look at what an 8-ball of cocaine is?
I've only heard it mentioned by my pops. Ironic, right?
Moon rocks here. I mean, I think moon rocks are pretty much
They're the same
all
They're the
around.
same.
It's just a nugget sprayed or dipped in hash oil or just concentrated THC oil, and then coated in keef. I have
What is
tried
that?
moon rocks. Keef are the crystals.
Oh.
So, you know, I suppose you probably won't know, but most grinders now, they're layered. So you'll have the top layer, or at least fancy grinders, which I do have one. I'm not going to show you though, because I don't want to get in trouble for it. But yeah, it's just the kind of grater bit at the top 2 layers,
Right.
then a kind of netting layer to capture the flour, the ground up flour, and then it's kind of like a sieve bit between, and then the bottom layer where all of the crystals collect. The crystals is the strongest stuff, so
Yeah. Okay, that's understandable.
they're very sticky. Moon rocks,
Why?
because they are dipped or like just caked in either THC oil or hash oil.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense. The oil makes it like yeah.
Yeah, because it's literally
Okay.
a nug dipped and then rolled. Like they've battered it almost in panko breadcrumbs.
Okay.
I just wouldn't recommend eating it.
Why would it mess you up like that bad?
I mean, you'd probably feel something from it because of the THC oil, but yeah, most of the time you need to burn it for the decarbing to happen to actually feel something. If I were to recommend a way to try moon rocks, which I'm not, you know, unless it's legal in your country, obviously, then knock yourself out. But if I were to recommend, I would say a pipe or a bong. Don't put it in a joint.
See, I'm drug dumb, but an 8-ball is alright. See, an 8-ball is 1/8 of an ounce of a drug, usually cocaine, but it can refer to usually anything. I've heard it used to refer to as crystal meth, so that's fun. But
so it's just a way of referring to like
an eighth.
the amount. Oh,
Yeah,
here,
pretty much.
sometimes it's called a Henry.
A Henry.
Henry VIII. The king.
Oh, okay, okay. That's foul. I could see. I could
it's
see
smart.
them.
It's smart.
It's smart. I could see them imprisoning somebody for that, though.
I mean, we'd get imprisoned for having an 8th in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, but like, isn't it like illegal to like slander the royal family over there?
You can get in a lot of trouble for it, but Henry VIII is like long gone. Like he's not been around since the Victorian era. So, he was Tudors, which is even before that. So,
I took history multiple times, and I don't remember any of it.
Did you guys learn much about other countries' histories, though, or was it just American history?
I have learned about I've learned about those damn pyramids for about 4 years straight. Like, not to mention every war we've ever had. Speaking of colonization, no, never mind.
Is there a way to like? I'm just gonna, if I can go any further back and
just go out of focus. No, but God, history is one of the first subjects that we closed on early. Like, I think I was in 10th grade and we were done with history. Thank God.
I'm so
Bless
sorry.
you.
Thank you.
Due to our I'm not gonna. Never mind. But No, but yeah, history was one of the first subjects we actually got out of, thank God, because it was literally repeat at that point, which is what a lot of our curriculum is.
Yeah.
We don't speak on that though. That's a conversation for another time.
We'll cover the difference between US and UK education at some point, because there's a big difference between the two.
I personally never went to a public school, so I can't really speak on the curriculum but since I'm homeschooled.
Do you not have like a set thing that the government, or do you just get taught whatever they want to teach you?
It's set, but like it's not the same. Like I haven't experienced the public schools. Like
right.
I haven't experienced public or the curriculum's pretty much the same. Outside of like Bible studies or whatever, which was specific to our program, but
it's more just how it's taught, I'm guessing. That's the difference. Yeah.
Pretty much. The tides though, alright, hear me out. If the earth was flat, which no disrespect, but if the earth was flat, would we not I don't think we would have tides, would we?
I don't know, because the theory of flat earth I don't think it disproves gravity, which is the only factor of moon tide control stuff. And I don't think flat earth theory disproves the moon either, unless they think the moon's not real too. But I would have, unless they think the moon's flat too. Huh.
It's interesting.
We just live in a 2D world. 3D girl in a 2D world.
Bro.
This is gonna be a new Netflix
I can finally
series.
be with my waifu.
Oh.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. Now, the flat earth theory was established in the 1800s, which was hard to believe. The 1800s.
Yeah. See, but that was before we had technology that we do now, like telescopes, like the Hubble telescope, for example, the one that can see very, very far out.
Yeah, millions of light years away.
And this was also before we had ever even left the Earth in any sort of rocket or spaceship. So we didn't get an outsider's view, although I know that a lot of flat earthers don't believe that the views from the space center and from people's rockets, they think that the view from that was fake. But yeah, it's an interesting theory.
I wish I could listen to a flat. I guess they call them flat earthers.
Mm-hmm.
Just so, like, I wish I could just listen to them.
We should go to a flat Earth convention one day.
They have those?
Yeah.
Flat Earth conventions.
Yeah. Logan Paul went to one.
Oh God. It proves him. It serves him right.
I don't think he went believing though. Unless he did, then to each their own. Yeah. There is flat Earth conferences and conventions.
I like how their biggest proving point is that they've got 121,000 likes on Facebook. Like, nice. I guess. Like, what? Why is that your biggest point of validation?
Like, that's their proof.
I've heard that multiple times. I think it's changed by now. It's got to be more. It has to be old.
I think that's just, if I'm honest, a little bit hypocritical, because you can't believe that the Earth is flat because there's not enough proof of the Earth being round, in your opinion, and then be like, the only proof I've got that the Earth is flat is
I have 121,000 likes.
I got some likes from some people with probably no professional expertise whatsoever. Like, I doubt one single person is a physicist or an astrologist or just someone that studies space or works in NASA or just any sort of professional in that field.
It begs the question that what if the government is like hiding something? Like, would they be able to hide something that massive? Like, massive, wow, that massive of a secret?
I suppose that would depend on how well we think our governments are, like how smart we really think they are. and how
much
good they are with just technology and hiding their tracks and keeping up with the lies and all this sort of stuff.
it's easy to say that they could just get anybody hit off that was going to expose it, but like damage control at that point would be a little bit too.
There's no way you can damage control that.
No, they're the good luck, buddy. You literally start like not a modern day apocalypse or anything, but yeah, you might as well be. We turn on each other, or they would.
Flat earthers versus earthers, or what is it, spherical earthers? Is that what we would call ourselves?
I think there was a name for us.
3D earthers.
Something like that. I'm not sure if it was 3D earthers, but
I'm a 3D earther.
Gang, sorry. I'm gonna get dragged for that.
And not for the waifu thing.
Maybe actually.
Sus.
Hello. God, you ever hear that Siri could predict the apocalypse?
No.
Okay, so back when Siri was, when did Apple start releasing iPhones?
I want to say the early 2000s, because my friend had an iPhone. No, my friend's mum had an iPhone when I was still in primary school. So,
well, I know Apple's been around for a long time.
We'll see.
Longer than me and you both have been.
Yeah. When was the first iPhone launched? June 29th, 2007.
Interesting. So, in 2013, I think it was a bug, maybe. If you ask Siri what day is July 27th, 2014, if you ask her what day it was, she would say the opening of the gates of Hades, aka the end of the world. So, I think it's Hades. Hades is the god of
the
death,
underworld,
or something like that in Greek mythology. Yeah. And yeah, that would be terrifying overall. I mean, obviously that's been almost 7 years ago now. So
there's another theory about the gates of hell being opened, but about the big particle generator thing in Europe. Do you know what that is? Let me Google the actual name for it. It is called the CERN, or the CERN, I think. The Hadron Collider.
Huh. What's it for? A particle generator, you said?
It's the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator.
What's
consists
its purpose?
Of 27 kilometer rings of superconducting magnets with a number of accelerating structures to boost the energy of the particles. Two high energy particle beams travel at close to the speed of light before they are made to collide. So it is just basically a way to move particles quick enough that it matches the speed of sound, basically, or the speed of light, kind of. It's not 100% perfect, but yeah, there was a theory that was going to open the gates of hell.
Huh. I see. It's crazy to think that just something like coming home, usually we had this like one area of the interstate that's like always congested or whatever, and we would say who opened the gates, and we were referring to the gates of hell because my parents tried not to swear around us as kids, so it's like it's crazy how something so simple has such a bigger tie.
It's actually crazy though what this thing does. It's just a consistent flow of energy at super speeds. See, I would have thought stuff like this would like help us figure out quicker travel. Because with a particle accelerator, it's trying to move particles near enough the speed of light, right? Which, not as quick as the speed of sound, but if there was a safe way to be able to move them particles and ensure that there's no damage or, I guess, loss in any way to structure or, I guess, health of the particles, then you could look into being able to move human particles at the speed of sound.
You would think,
or speed of light, sorry.
Stuff like that introduces the thought to me is like, why couldn't we do that? But
it seems very dangerous. Like, I think if someone went in that, they would die instantly, I think.
Oh yeah,
no doubt
probably
about
even
it.
getting close to it. I would assume.
I think it's very, very limited who has access. Oh no, you can actually get pretty up close to it.
Oh.
Because it has to be, it requires a lot of maintenance, as far as I'm aware. But you can't actually stick your hand in where the two beams are, because I think that would probably just burn through your hand.
Like putting your hand against a lightsaber. It's like, oh no. Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how we figure out how to make lightsabers.
What? Putting your hand against something?
No, particle accelerator.
Oh. Well, a lightsaber's plasma.
But it's light energy, correct?
Not necessarily. I forgot. I've watched... This is going to sound geekish of me, but I've watched plenty of videos on how and why we can't create a lightsaber. It's plasma energy. It's like... How do I put this?
Have you seen the real-life lightsaber, though, that guy made? And it burns through shit.
I watched a video on that literally just last week, ironically enough. It's amazing. Like...
Melts wood.
Right? Oh my god. He literally put his hand through it that one time. Yeah, he went woof. And it didn't even hurt him. He was explaining how it didn't... Sound like I have a retainer in now. He was explaining how if he just went like that, it wouldn't hurt him because it takes time for heat to transfer onto the material. It's
right, so if you move quick enough, then the heat's not transferred over. The same way that you don't burn yourself when you do that over a lighter or an open flame, I would suppose.
Right, if you go slow enough or you hold it long enough, it's going to start to burn you. But I mean, if you're just like...
Oh, with something of that heat, you would have to do it for like 1 second and it would start to burn you. So you would have to be really quick with trying to do that.
Yeah,
because it's 4,000, I think, Fahrenheit, he said it was, which I don't even know what that is in Celsius, but I can imagine it is a ridiculous amount of heat. I think he said 4,000 or 400. It's
4,000.
Oh, it was 4,000. Okay.
Yeah, 400 is how much. It's like 200 more than a boiling pot of water, so it's definitely 4,000.
It's definitely 4,000.
No, when it comes to making an actual lightsaber, though, they say a lightsaber, it would have to be as hot and dense as the sun, so you couldn't even get near it without, incinerating.
And even just handling it, that amount of radiation would
kill you.
Even if you weren't, just long-term exposure would give you cancer risks and stuff like that as well.
Of course. I mean, thinking of it now, obviously, the world George Lucas created with Star Wars was not meant to be realistic. So, I mean, it's funny that Disney's trying their hardest. They're trying to make prototype lightsabers, but they're like rulers and they're like LED strips and whatever. But as we advance and technology advances, there'll probably be something on a lower grade scale, like
one day.
Yeah, one day. Because if you look at his, it's like the blade kind of shrinks down when you move it, but they're working to make the blade like
fully
he said the blade gets not fully retractable, but to hold its exposure, or composure, excuse me. He said that for it to stay completely consistent, though, you'd have to be in like a no gravity area or a no air. Excuse me. No gravity area.
So you would need to have like just airlock.
A vacuum.
Right.
Yeah. Which would be highly dangerous, even just to. I don't even think there's a place on Earth you can get into a no vac. There isn't. I don't think. Is there?
I mean, there's ways to not have gravity affect you on Earth because there's those simulations. People float around in
for the
planes
preparations.
And stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, I would love to do it because stuff like that. I'm fine with, because I don't like heights. I would never jump out of a plane. But if you tell me to like get in a plane and float around in the plane, not feeling gravity, I would love to do that. Just,
Yeah, just like have you seen those videos on TikTok of the people like in those things where you just fly up and down like a flight suit and you're like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, this guy on TikTok.
The parachute tunnel things, or like the skydive tunnels, where you just
sort
of
those
lay there like that. Yeah.
So he'll go up, he'll float up, he'll run the wall, and then go out and just like start walking. It's so weird. He'll go from like flying just walking. That's so crazy.
The man is training for an Iron Man suit. That's what he's doing. He's preparing.
Bro, he's prepared for something we're not ready for.
I don't know. I'll be ready for it. You see me with my stick. I reckon I'll take on Thanos with my stick.
I think I just become a thug.
There are two types of people in this world.
For real.
The good guys and the villains.
God.
Q James's villain arc.
The revenge arc we've all been waiting for.
Revenge on who?
I don't know.
We spoke about flat Earth and the moon being fake, or the moon landing being fake, and moon rocks. Another theory also to do with the Earth, which I don't think is as commonly known about, but is also a very big theory, is hollow Earth theory. There's a lot that goes behind the hollow Earth theory. There's that there are giants living in the hollow Earth underneath, and that there's areas to get into it in Antarctica. And the reason that nobody is allowed there is because the government is hiding some secret doorway that they don't want the public to find.
What, like the Nazis on the dark side of the moon, that type beat. See, I saw a picture right before I recorded this. Actually, I was looking into some of the conspiracy theories I wrote down. It was like a picture of the Earth, and it had like a staircase, like this giant staircase, and at the top, in the Antarctica, there was like these like entrances or whatever. It was super weird. And
that there's cities in and underneath our very surface.
I mean, that would be crazy. Think of like you go into a cave. Ah, God, I learned like the stalagmites or whatever, like the crystals that hang from the ceilings that come up and out of the ground. Think of a city underground, like in the underworld. It's where it's like these crystals is illuminating the city. That would be beautiful. Like, man, I might write that down because that's an interesting story note.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this diagram that I have up, there are specific caves and areas of the Earth that they have pointed to that they think are doorways and tunnels and areas to get into. They're man-made tunnels to gain us access to the hollow Earth. Some of the locations include one of the waterfalls in Brazil. I'm gonna butcher this name. Iguazu. I've butchered that. I already know. I've butchered that. Kentucky Mammoth Cave. Mount Pompeo in Italy. Pyramid of Giza as well. And then some Darrow Caves.
Wouldn't it be... Alright, so say it did exist. Hypothetically, say it existed. Wouldn't it be... where would it be? Because it would be way... Think about it. Cities are, what, 3,000? They're pretty big, regardless. I would assume they would have buildings. They would have to. They would have to be...
I don't know if they would be buildings as we know them. They might be a very prehistoric build. They might be etched. You know, there's
Oh,
a
like
city.
carved.
Yeah, there's a city, I think. It's in Jordan. It's one of the wonders of the world, and it's a city that's basically just carved out of a cliff, I think.
So that would be in turn. Okay, so that would make more sense in my opinion. I feel in my head I was imagining like a carved out like hollow space. Like I'm such an idiot. I'm a sucker for fantasy stories, you can tell. But like a carved out space and like a bridge over to some massive city or something. But
yeah, Petra in Jordan. If you've seen what that looks like, I would presume that buildings and the cities would kind of look like that a little bit. Or one way for those of you that are gamers and nerds out there, you could compare it to the buried map on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. If you've played that, you look up and there is just a crack where you can see the sky and the surface, but you fall through and there's an entire town underneath.
Huh. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that much from Black Ops 2. I'm more of a Modern Warfare nerd.
The toxic lobbies.
Okay, listen here. listen.
Xbox hot mic. No.
See, that theory presents way too many questions for me to just not hop on, but like even begin to believe, because I mean, for one, I just feel like it would, like, why? Like, what's the purpose when there's life in the sun? I don't know.
I don't know, but from the looks of this, the entire just aspect of how the universe works seems to be a little bit weird, at least with this diagram. So the sun is in the center of our Earth. It's called our central sun. Right. And it is surrounded by just forests and cities and man-made tunnels, oceans, mountains that are higher than what we have on our surface.
Oh, I see.
So basically, it's almost like parallel directly underneath. We have the same world, but just internalized.
Oh,
but there's also apparently spaceships and space bases from to and from other galaxies in the Hollow Earth.
Okay, all right. Now hold on. Unless you're like skipping through pure matter, good luck.
There's Rainbow City too. What's Rainbow City? Do you have to go on Rainbow Road to get there? I hope not. It'd be a bit dangerous.
Did you ever have? All right, you played Mario Kart?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever beat Rainbow Road?
Yeah.
Did you ever win a Rainbow Road? Yeah. Okay.
DS.
Okay.
Mario Kart DS. You know, the OG.
Oh my god.
And then there's loads of different Rainbow Road maps from like
Rainbow Road's
N64
caught its
one on the Switch version. I think it's Super Mario 8, or no, not Super Mario 8. It's Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. Ah, man.
And I've had to play that drunk a couple times, which is not fun. Yeah. We made
Rainbow Road
game.
is a pain. I couldn't imagine doing it drunk.
It's not the easiest, especially with the older ones where the road, you know, does this, and that there's no barriers on the side. You just, you know, you can just go straight off.
I think, does the Hollow Earth theory play off the Godzilla stuff? Like Godzilla just roams down there or something?
I don't know, but that'd be that'd be cool and scary.
See, you almost started to have me when you said that it could be inverted. I sound like a robot. Inverted.
Yeah.
And like the mountains and stuff, like it makes sense. Earth is probably big enough. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's definitely deep enough. If we assume that flat Earth isn't real, or not flat Earth, if we assume that Hollow Earth isn't real, and that obviously we have all of our cores and layers that we usually do, I mean, we know how far down deep that goes and how much space it would have, so it's entirely possible. But weirdly, we have more space on the outside, so that doesn't make sense as to why the mountains would then be bigger on the inside.
True. I feel like that would mess with our core, our structure.
Yeah, I mean, on here, we don't even have cores or structures on this map. So the way they see it is the Earth is kind of like this thick. It's got a layer like this thick. Up on this side, we've got Earth, just our Earth as we know it, our cities, mountains, forests,
right.
Yeah, everything. Then there's like in this bit, this is where all the man-made tunnels come in and out of the hollow earth, and also where magma is stored for volcanoes, so it's in this little pocket almost underneath the volcanoes. And then
oh wait, I see.
Between the inner layer and the outer layer, there's the center of gravity, which is 400 miles down apparently.
Some serious Illuminati stuff right here.
But it's interesting. There's also a lot of theories that with the hollow earth there are these like more intelligent, more peaceful beings that we don't know about. A lot of our like mythical creatures could be down here, and that's where a lot of our theories could come from on, you know, these things that
Bigfoot?
people have said that they've seen. Possibly.
My man Bigfoot and the unicorn down there.
Of Middle Earth or
Bro.
Hollow Earth.
Nah, Bigfoot is in Hollow Earth riding a unicorn with I'm trying to think of all kinds of stuff, man. He down there vibing though, you know what I mean?
He's riding his unicorn back and forth to the space base.
There you go.
Yeah.
God.
Sergeant Sasquatch, the interdimensional space traveler.
Yes. That if that doesn't sound like something
that
out
should
of
be
like
a comic book series or film. Netflix, get on that. I'll help you with it.
I would bang. Careful, they might just steal it from you.
As long as they pay me.
It's not like they haven't done it before.
It's alright. I mean, they could use my ideas. If you've seen Hype House series,
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
they've brought out a TV series.
The Hype House here. Okay.
Yeah, the Hype House, the TikTok Hype House.
Yeah, Discord has a program called the Hype House, so I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, no, the TikTokers, you know, the renegade.
There's two different types of peoples in this world. Oh God, keep me away.
I don't think we can even get it in UK Netflix. I hope not, because I don't want it.
I appreciate what they're trying to do, but keep it.
That's the sort of thing that make me want to cancel my subscription right there. Moving on from Hollow Earth, kind of also keeping on topic, there is also another theory that aliens built Stonehenge. Do you know what Stonehenge is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, it's the rocks in... it's somewhere in England. I'm pretty sure they're not that far from my hometown. But there's little to no evidence as to how they were built. And these are big concrete, like stone pillars almost, stacked on top of each other like this. And so something would have needed to be able to lift that, you know? Which also kind of ties in with the whole aliens helping build the pyramids too, because of the lack of technology that we would have had, or vehicles, or just help to be able to move something of that weight by hand.
See, I want to say it contradicts itself, because it's said that in modern back then they wouldn't be able to build pyramids like that with how unevolved technology it was. There was literally, you know what I mean? I
mean, especially with how high the pyramids are.
Right, exactly. It would have been a hell process almost. I mean,
they had a lot of people did die making it.
Yeah, they said thousands of slaves, this, that, and the third.
I
but
would presume millions.
millions?
Millions died making the Great Wall of China.
True, and the pyramids are huge.
How?
See, there's it's not scientists, but I guess theorists, I guess you would call it, that said they wouldn't have been able to build something that massive, that detailed, and that scaled back then. But at the same time, why would the aliens help somebody build something as simple as a Stonehenge? Like, for what purpose did it serve?
Oh, interesting. See, this here says that not many people would have died making Stonehenge, or not Stonehenge, the pyramids.
The pyramids?
Mm-hmm. Because they were fairly safe to work on. Not the earlier ones, but
Bro, imagine bro, those stones are huge. Imagine moving them.
How many people would you need to be able to lift up one of them rocks with rope? Because that's how they would have done it, to be able to, like, you know, lift it up. Because I can't see them doing it any other way. Because it's not like they can just, you know, pass it to the next person.
No, it had to have been 20, 30, at least.
I mean, how heavy are these bricks? They've got to be a couple ton.
Regardless, like I was saying, it just feels like it would be contradictory because, okay, for the pyramids, I'm not saying that doesn't make sense, but I can understand it. But for Stonehenge, why? Like, if aliens were that advanced, why?
I don't know. But Stonehenge is a very, very strange structure because there's no story as to why it's like that. There's no story as to how it got like that. Like, we know very little on Stonehenge other than the fact that it's Stonehenge.
So we could assume it may be like not a landmark, but like a
I would love to think that it's natural, but there is no way that you could get the rocks on there like that naturally. When you look at them, at the rocks that are led landscape on top or horizontally on top, because they would have had to turn them over because all of the columns are near enough similar sizes.
Yeah,
and it's in a ring.
Weirdly enough, in a ring. Yeah, in a ring. Something like that just doesn't naturally form. See, I was going to present that idea myself, but I just don't think something of that.
I mean, some of the rocks are like laid down on the floor flat, as if they were just there casually, and are ingrained into the grass and the soil. But a lot of them, they're in a circular sort of shape. There's a couple bigger ones in the middle that are stacked with stones on top. It's just a very weird structure. So I honestly can understand it. I can understand why they would think that aliens would want to build it, because, like, if there's secretly some sort of hidden use for Stonehenge that we're just too, like, dumb to figure out yet, or maybe Stonehenge is secretly, like, riddled with alien technology and we just don't know how to open it.
Ooh, like some secret, like, not like push a book into the shelf, open a door.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
What if it's like a communication device? Like, think about it. Like, we activate it. Like, hey.
Or like an interdimensional portal.
Oh no, that'd be trippy.
That'd be cool. But, like, just by looking at it, because it's one of those theories for me, because the way I like to look at things is if you cannot definitively disprove something to me with hardcore evidence that I, as someone who studied science and studies science, then I'm not gonna disprove a theory. You know, everything is real until disproved to me. So if, you know, things for me like flat Earth, I don't believe, because I've seen pictures and live streams from the Space Center and from rockets and stuff like that, and so there's enough proof in that for me to believe that the Earth isn't flat. And the same with the moon landing being faked. I don't know. I think with everything that went around at the time, it had a lot of press coverage. There was a lot of people that worked on it. And a lot of people have seen rockets blast off. So those are hard to disprove. But
we literally have a ring of debris in space because of what we've done.
Exactly. But
unfortunately,
with Stonehenge, we have no evidence as to how it was made originally, or what its use is, or how it got there. So I can't definitively say that aliens didn't make it, because we don't even know how it was made in the first place.
Right. I mean, I find it interesting, but I find all of them interesting. I won't entertain them for. I'll entertain the idea. Like I said, I'd like to listen to sit and listen to somebody, but I don't think there's any changing my mind on me believing. Majority of them, a lot of them seem far fetched for me.
Yeah.
Again, no disrespect to anybody. It is behind these theories, but it just seems a little bit far fetched for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I believe them, but I'm not going to disbelieve them because there's a lack of proof for me to say no. You know,
exactly,
the same with aliens existing, full stop. There's nothing to say that there aren't aliens out there, and so I cannot sit here and say that there aren't aliens because there's no proof.
Right. Going to a different type of conspiracy theory, I feel like this is with every celebrity at one point in their career. There's a very common theory that Jay-Z is a time-traveling vampire.
Specific on time traveling, huh?
I don't know why it's specific on time traveling, because if you're a vampire, I don't think vampires die, do they? So
he wouldn't need to time travel because he would just be able to just live through all of those decades.
Yeah, so
unless that's what they mean by time traveling.
Right.
Weird.
It stems from this image that was taken in 1939 of somebody like super super similar to Jay-Z. They call it the Jay-Z lookalike. I have a picture up on screen right about now just to show you guys what I'm talking about. But I'm not sure. It's super common almost with celebrities to claim that they're immortal. I've done that like 4 times this episode, but you know what I mean.
There's a couple that I can name off the top of my head that have been theorized to be immortal vampires. Keanu Reeves is one that I saw. Pharrell Williams is a really, really popular one, which I'm not surprised about because when you look at him, you know, he's, I think, I don't want to get his age wrong because that's, a bit mean, but I think he's in his 50s.
Ooh, wow.
So Pharrell Williams is, why isn't it telling me his age? He's 48 years old. Right. But if you look at a picture of him, he doesn't look any different to the day that he was 20.
He hasn't aged.
No.
He hasn't aged.
I want to know what his industry secret is.
Yeah, his skincare routine. I need that skincare routine, my guy.
Yeah. I'm already getting wrinkles.
Yeah, I have 3 Mile bags. I don't know if you can see them.
Don't point out mine.
Oh, God. Alright, so the immortality thing, which I guess people would link to the Illuminati. I never got what is the Illuminati? Like, for God's sake, is it just like this some super secret society of people?
I think, the original thought of what the Illuminati was, I think, was just this big organization that just controls the government, like the governments,
right,
celebrities, the media, just how we perceive the world. They are pretty much in control of, which is why people fear them so much if it is real. So technically, the Illuminati is real. The name was given to several groups, both real and fictional. Historically, the name usually refers to Bavarian Illuminati, a society founded in the 1700s in Bavaria. Bavarian Illuminati, sorry. Bavaria, which is now a part of Germany. The society's goals were to oppress superstition, religious influence over public life, and the abuse of state power.
I mean, overall, I mean, like, a lot, but I don't know. I guess it serves purpose. I wonder how it caught on as, like, this, I mean, it has references in GTA 5, so it's not some, like, it has references in outside material, like, in fantasy material, so it's definitely caught on to a more large scale. It's been upscaled, pretty much, but,
the theory of the Illuminati has existed for a very long time, because the insignia, which I think is the triangle with the eye,
it's
or
on
it
our
might just be
$1
the
bill.
triangle, can be seen on the pyramids as well.
Ah, interesting.
Its influence was evident around the life of Christ. Interesting.
Really? Jesus Christ. Ironic.
The Illuminati, though, also ties into the theory of the Queen being a lizard.
Oh. Well, how does that work? Actually, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I don't know.
I mean, if the Queen is a lizard, then so is Mark. Let's just be honest.
I mean, if anyone, it's Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Not sorry, Mark.
But yeah, so Katy Perry, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Madonna, Kim Kardashian, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, just to name a few, are some of the celebrities that are allegedly part of the Illuminati. It's very common to believe, if you believe in the Illuminati, that the music industry is a huge factor. If you look at, I guess, the target of who they usually try to get into their society or whatever, it usually is music industry kind of people, which is interesting.
It makes sense because we all listen to music or some type of music.
It's a very, very easy way to influence thoughts and lives.
Because take, for instance, if you're listening to a song, you want to relate to it. Not really necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of songs that I don't directly relate to.
I relate to very little of my music because I listen to a lot of EDM, so it's really hard to relate to sounds.
Okay. True, but like the more...
What? Yes, I am.
All right, you're speaking henchman now. Calm down. I mean, I don't know. I guess not try to find a relate to it, but it just influences him in a strong way, especially more of a lyrical side of music. So, I mean, sure, it makes sense in that aspect, I guess. Another common theory with celebrities, though, is that they just don't die. I mean this in no disrespect either.
Yeah, a lot of celebrity deaths
are just like, oh, no, they're still alive.
Yeah, a lot of people like to theorize that a lot of celebrity deaths were just faked and didn't happen. Some people think Elvis is still alive.
Michael Jackson's still alive.
Tupac Shakur.
Juice WRLD.
All those sort of people. It's interesting. It's really interesting because do you start to think like that because you just really don't know?
Is it denial?
That's what I'm thinking. Is it really bad denial that you just don't want to let go?
It would be the most subtly extreme form of denial there could be, because if you entertain the idea, if you're entertaining the idea that these people are still here, at the same time, like, see, if I were to entertain the idea, somebody were to bring it up to me in a party or something, it's like, really, you think that? It's like, am I starting to, like, think, oh, they're probably not, I don't know, it's interesting. It's, like, so subtle but so extreme at the same time.
Well,
I don't know.
What I like to think of is, I mean, we know that some people just look similar. There's proof of that all around the world. I mean, there's a theory out there
we
that
all have a
everyone
clone.
Their identical twin almost. that aren't related to them by blood, but look exactly like them. I would love to find mine. I would love to be friends with mine, whoever that is out there. If you look exactly like me, please get in touch. My Twitter is, you can see my handle here. But yeah, so it concerns me almost that there could be that much denial in the fact that they could just be very similar looking people. Like, God, there's even a theory that Hitler still alive, lurking around somewhere in Costa Rica.
Why is it always like
South America? They love to think that they all just flee for a holiday.
Let's go to one of the most, I mean, I guess, but I mean, let's just go to one of the most popular places in the world. Or
maybe it's that they want to hide out in the rainforest, and so they just I don't know, make a little tree house or something, live off the grid.
Dude. Oh my God. Growing up, alright, this may diverge a little bit, but growing up, we had an aunt that lived up on the mountains, and there was these big, massive trees, right? And I kid you not, as kids, me and my sister had this notebook. We probably still have it somewhere. And they promised we were gonna move up there at one point, and they promised they'd build us a treehouse. So, my aunt and uncle would promise they'd build us a treehouse. So we wrote down all of these things. We were gonna have a house up there with a mini fridge, a couch, air conditioning. Like, we took this idea to the moon with us. Of course, it never went into fruition, but it was fun to theorize about. Like, me and my sister would sit there for hours sometimes in the evening, just like, okay, but what if this, like, we want to do this, we gotta get dishware. It was the most fun thing, like, sit there and just go off about.
How old were you at the time?
Probably about 6.
Damn, 6-year-old James theorizing how he can electronically wire his treehouse to have a mini fridge.
Well, my dad was no great influence to that because he did electrical work. So he's like, I can tell lights running up there. He's like, and we're like, oh, but if we have power, we can get, you know what I mean?
We
it was
can
just
get
like
this
constant.
in and put a TV and a sofa and
exactly.
I mean, it would be cool. That'd be very cool. Wait, that's just made me think. Imagine if our podcast set was a tree house.
Oh, that would be funny. Though?
I don't know. Would you make a tree house?
We better start planting some trees in the middle of some office space somewhere.
Or just in the middle of nowhere, and then just make sure that we just get Wi-Fi out there good.
Yeah, because I don't feel like sitting here for 857 hours uploading a 2-hour podcast.
Nope.
Being able to, like, get back to what I was doing has brought a better side out of me. I've approached it so much more confidently today.
Yeah, it comes across. I've been a stuttering mess today, but we move.
I was a stuttering mess for the first 2 weeks, so it happens.
It's not because I'm nervous. My brain is moving quicker than my mouth. No, my mouth is moving quicker than my brain. I'm just blurting out words before I'm fully thinking of my sentences, so I'm just like, what was I going to say next?
I do that a lot. It's like I think of so much stuff that I can't put it out quick enough. I start talking really, really fast if I'm in my moment.
Yeah. I love to just sometimes talk real fast. And people just look at me and I'm just like, well, I'm sorry, but if you can't understand it, it's not my fault. I just like to yabber a lot.
Yeah, right. So if I start going on a tangent, I'm like boom, 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 and I'm at the top. It's just like it falls off, and I like, and my mind goes blank, and I'm like, shit. I'll literally say, I'm like, I've said too much. I've thought too much. I've thought myself out of myself. I've thought myself out of talking.
It happens. I do that sort of stuff all the time. I'll be thinking about something, and then my own thoughts will distract me, and I'll start thinking about something else.
Bro, I look short as shit, like, sitting down. I'm not short. I'm just laid back. Bro, I'm, like, down here in my chair.
How do I look taller than you?
Because of how I'm sitting.
How are you sat?
With my legs on my desk.
My leg is on my chair. My foot is not touching the floor. Neither feet are on the floor.
You're just sitting normally?
One leg crossed under the other.
Okay, so this is me sitting crisscross applesauce, and I'm almost out of frame.
Oh my god, wait, I wish I wore my MTV shirt today. We could have been matching.
Oh, wait, you have an MTV shirt?
I do.
I wanted to wear it, but it's not really visible because of the freaking microphone.
Oh, were you going to wear it because of conspiracy theories? Or just...
Well, not really. It's just... I don't know. It felt relative. It felt relative today for some reason.
I asked a friend to pick out an outfit. I always like to make sure for the podcast, if I look shit in any other aspect of my life, it's fine. But for the podcast, I need to make sure that I look semi-decent. So I was like, I don't know what to wear. So I asked my friend, I called her and I was like, can you help me pick out an outfit for the podcast? And I was like, go crazy with the combinations. Like, I'm not opposed to layers. I'm not opposed to... unconventional layers. Like, I'll put a shirt on top of a hoodie. I don't care. I think it looks cool. And she opted for a white t-shirt and a pineapple shirt.
Oh, so you're going with the what do you call it? I saw you post on Instagram about it. It was like the dad something outfit.
Barbecue
I forgot.
dad.
Barbecue dad.
Yeah.
Barbecue dad. Right.
I just feel like I need an apron and some Crocs.
Oh my god,
and the glasses.
yes. No, you need those white tennis shoes with like the black markings on it. That would complete the look.
I kind of have some similar looking shoes.
Bro, my dad fit that description a little bit too heavy growing up. It was kind of terrifying almost.
I was gonna caption it the divorced dad of two.
Okay.
That would have been scarily accurate in your instance then.
Listen, you just at me next time,
no,
alright?
It genuinely is like a style though. Like, they all seem to follow that.
No, yeah, it's a running joke over here to
I think it's a states thing though, because we don't really have barbecue dads over here, or at least like the look of a barbecue dad.
I was gonna say it's a running joke to be like a divorced with two kids, blah blah blah. Yeah, divorce with 47, divorce with 2 kids.
How you doing?
Fuck off. Did you hear her?
Who was that? Was that the hoe?
So, to those of you watching the podcast right now, you won't know this, but it is daylight outside for me for the first time ever recording the podcast.
I can't say the same, but usually recording the podcast, it is daylight for me because it's almost getting
7 o'clock in the
4 in the morning most of the time. But it's only 1:30, so it's not that late today.
I knew we were going to be on early recording this, and I was like, I know how the light's going to affect the camera, but I closed the curtains and we're all good, so.
Smart.
Yep. Blackout curtains, thank God.
Such a blessing. I have them at my dad's house. It's the only way the light doesn't affect my desk.
Yeah. I can't wait to move my setup in that corner. It's going to be...
Oh, interesting. When are you doing
chef
a move
kisses. Soon as I can get my internet company to come drill another hole in the floor.
Oh, so that you can put Ethernet through that.
Yeah, they do it for free, so I'm like,
well, that's good.
Might as well. We've really diverged off the topic of conspiracy theories, though. So there was another one that you wanted to mention earlier. It's an interesting one.
It's quite a scary one, to be honest. If it's real, I'm scared. There is a theory that the government, specifically the CIA, created AIDS.
Right.
And I, for those of you that don't know, the original theory, and I think that there's scientific proof around this, that originally the virus, the HIV virus, was passed from ape to man in, I want to say, it was a very long time ago. I think it was the 1800s. It's definitely not something that's recently come around. Hang on, let me search it because I don't want to get any of this wrong. Okay, so AIDS was originally identified in the US in 1981. Rumours have floated around since of its origin and cause. One of the most outlandish theories is that it was created by the CIA to wipe out homosexuals and African Americans.
Wow.
On orders of the US President Richard Nixon.
Really? Nixon?
Mm-hmm. There is evidence that the CIA connection was in fact created by the KGB. As part of the Cold War disinformation campaign to discredit the US.
See, I'm not sure how true it is, but there are... I don't know if I could really call them theories, but one year our stink bugs were extremely bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they released ladybugs the next year. They announced they're releasing ladybugs, genetically mutated to kill off the stink bugs, majority of them.
Oh, they do that sort of stuff all the time. They released a bunch of rats in New Zealand, I think. It's part of a Netflix documentary on genetic testing and playing with genetics and changing your own genetics. Yeah, because there's this guy and he will send home kits to alter your DNA if you want to, using the CRISPR gene, which is this gene formed from a bacteria, I think they carry it through a bacteria, and it can change specific parts of your DNA. So I think he's trying to get it where he's trying to increase his muscle mass using it, to see if that's possible. I know that we also using it to try to find a cure for AIDS. I don't know how far they've come along with that.
It was either that or it was either that or herpes during the pandemic. Somebody was actually cured of. I'm not sure exactly what of, but
cured of
see,
herpes?
that's what. Huh?
Cured of herpes.
Something like that. I saw all these TikToks about things you missed because the government doesn't want you to know about because of the pandemic or whatever, and it was like that was one of them. But no. Stuff like that, if they're releasing genetically mutated bugs, I wouldn't see it as so far-fetched as them creating diseases like that. Or viruses, excuse me.
I mean, there's always been theories of the governments creating viruses to either kill off population to reduce numbers, to do it as part of a culling of a specific type of people, which I'm sure... I can't give examples of any viruses that were made to kill off people, but obviously there's a theory that COVID was made in a lab. There's a theory that COVID was made in a lab in the States. There's a theory that COVID was made in a lab in China. But yeah, I'm a little bit fearful of if the CIA made AIDS.
Like, what else can they not do if that's the case?
It's more the fact of that they're targeting me. I don't want to be targeted like that.
True, because you said it was targeted at
homosexuals and African Americans. But yeah, there's no definitive proof to state otherwise. I think the initial theory behind it was made by the KGB. I think that's who theorized that. However, Nobel Peace Prize ecologists have also backed the theory.
Interesting.
However, most scientists and doctors agree that the cause of the virus, or that the virus jumped from monkeys to humans during the 1930s, which was the initial theory, and I think that's the one that has the most proof. I just want to know how. Like, I know Family Guy made a skit on it.
They're good at that.
But, you know, How? Why?
Why?
All it took was for one person to just not fuck a monkey to completely avoid AIDS.
That almost seems unrealistic.
That's butterfly effect in motion.
True.
Man
I mean,
fucked monkey. Millions
we've
dead.
both stated that we've experienced the butterfly effect to a very, very extreme measure. So, I mean...
That's one theory I very much believe in. I think every little thing contributes to just the bigger picture.
Oh, yeah. If the big... Alright. Literally, if the Big Bang Theory is to be... Obviously, I'm just saying, if it's true, we're literally... That is the butterfly effect in motion there. Like, we're so perfectly placed, that far from the sun, inch out, inch in, we're done. Butterfly effect.
Although they do want to try and get people to colonize Mars, don't they? Which is closer to the sun than we are, I think, or it's further away.
Yeah, but, well, isn't it like that life is sustainable here, like life's able to grow here? On Mars, we have to colonize it, we have to go over there, and we have to start doing that.
We don't know life isn't sustainable there, because we don't know if there's any actual type of life form on there, because it could be just microscopic life form, which I think they might have found proof of microscopic life form, because they found
if there
proof
is
of
ice,
water being on Mars, or ice, which would mean that there's the basic building blocks for life.
True.
And plus, if these things that live on Mars, I mean, they'll be specialized in their own way to be able to live in that environment, so they might not even need oxygen or water.
Which would be crazy. Oh. Alright, I'm not going to start theorizing about Mars any more than I have to, but I just think it'd be wild. I really hope we get to Mars soon.
Elon?
Come on, man.
You know what you're doing.
I don't know about that SNL skit, but you know what you're doing.
Are we talking about the Mario one in the courthouse? With Grimes as Princess Peach?
I'm talking about the one where he was, actually, no, yeah.
Or where he sent Chad to space?
Both.
Oh.
Both.
I think that just about covers everything for this week's episode, but as you can see, there are a lot of conspiracy theories out there that are widely theorized and believed, and a lot that we still haven't even touched the surface on. And I think it would take hours and hours for us to go through all of them. So we won't bore you with that. What we will do is leave you with a lovely parting note. Thank you again, as James said at the start of the video, to everyone that has shown support within the last month of us doing this. We've been doing this for just over a month now, and just to have a consistent amount of support from everyone and all of the feedback that we've been given and the kind words, it means a lot, and it definitely helps build our confidence with this and drives us to make this the best thing that we can possibly make it for you guys. With that being said, be sure to join us next week. We're going to be talking about cults, which is going to be an interesting one for sure. A very scary one, I think. Cults scare me a little bit, so it'll be interesting to dive into that one. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Any comments too, feedback, suggestions, we read them all, we appreciate them all. And if you want to see more, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications so that you don't miss an episode. However, episodes are up every single Friday, 5 p.m. British Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
Be sure to check out our Twitter and our Spotify for more behind-the-scenes content and updates about the podcast. Thing we do is tweet it out over there, so definitely be sure to check us out. Give us a follow, and we look forward to having you.
And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week.